Even if generations change, the meaning of the sentences stays the same. The only thing that changes is the words. We've found the secret to this. We figured out money. We've understood the risks. We've managed the crises well. From now on, everything will be different. They truly believe what they are saying is correct. There are indicators, new terms, academic papers. Everything now looks more scientific, more concrete, more intelligent, as if uncertainty has finally become something controllable. But history does not panic. It quietly waits. Because even if mechanisms and practices evolve, even if markets move at incredible speed, one thing never changes: human nature. And human nature is deeply attached to its comforting stories. This time is different. Perhaps one of the most impressive lines in financial history. In the 17th century, it was tulip bulbs. In the 1920s, stocks in America. In the 1990s, internet companies. In the 2000s, the housing market. Every time people were smart, informed, and confident. Yet the outcomes were never surprising. This is not a La Fontaine fable. The issue is much deeper. Why do economic illusions keep resurfacing? Because markets are not machines. They are reflections of people. Inside them are anxiety, greed, expectation, hope, and sometimes all of them at once. When a certain crowd believes in the same story, that story begins to look real for a while. For example, in the 1630s, the Dutch believed tulip bulbs were no longer ordinary plants. A new asset class had emerged. As prices rose, logic followed the price. Those who doubted were labeled ignorant. For centuries, the same thinking kept returning with fresh energy. Radio stocks, conglomerates, dot-coms, the housing bubble. The assets changed. The story remained the same. Every new era presents its optimism in an advanced language. Once it was empire and trade routes, then the Industrial Revolution, later financial engineering. Today it is algorithms, artificial intelligence, liquidity. The language evolves. The fragility remains. Because illusions do not survive for being false. They survive because they make people feel better. One of the greatest illusions is this: growth is now permanent. Tomorrow will be better than today. The system now works this way. What begins as hope turns into assumption. And once good tomorrows are assumed, every threat is labeled temporary. A slowdown is a glitch. A correction is an overreaction. The problem is never the belief itself, but the obstacle. That is why credit expands. Rules become flexible. Risk is postponed. The pain is delayed but never eliminated. Then another belief emerges. Complexity means safety. We divide risk, transform it, distribute it, as if it will disappear. In reality, complexity often covers risk. It makes it less visible. It creates the feeling that someone is in control. Central banks, regulators, authorities. It feels as if there is a pilot in the cockpit of the system. That feeling brings comfort, because confidence, in a way, is a form of currency. The truth is this: decisions are usually made under pressure, with limited information, with political motives, with short-term incentives. It may create the appearance of control, but it does not create certainty. With debt, we bring the future into the present. With inflation, we reduce burdens quietly. With bailout packages, we distribute losses. At least, that is how it is presented. But history is patient, and one of its other traits is this: costs eventually surface, and they do not surface equally. Some win early and exit, some never recover. Even if a community does everything right, it may still carry the consequences of decisions it did not make. That is not moral, it is structural. And here is the strange part. The most dangerous moment is not the collapse. It is excessive confidence. The moment people believe the system has matured, that risk is under control, that the problem has passed. History does not repeat out of stubbornness. It repeats because we do not change. After every crisis, we make promises. We say we will be more cautious. We create rules. We take precautions. But memory is weak. New participants arrive. They did not live through the previous pain. They see opportunities, not scars. Warnings sound insignificant to them. That is why economic breaking points are accompanied by collective blindness, sometimes even collective amnesia. Today, information reacts quickly. Markets respond instantly. Capital moves in real time. Yet final decisions are still made by humans. Rising prices are still mistaken for value. A system that works for a while is assumed to work forever. Complexity is perceived as intelligence. More data does not not necessarily bring more wisdom. It often brings hollow confidence, and misplaced confidence is equal to ignorance. Systems do not collapse because they are complex. They collapse because enough people believe that risk management is someone else's responsibility. No financial mechanism can be stronger than the mentality of those operating it. Predicting the next crisis is not success. That too may be another illusion. What truly matters is this: how easily do we trade long-term resilience for short-term comfort? Is risk truly being managed or merely postponed? This part is important. Financial freedom is not about timing the market or profiting from every cycle. It is about recognizing where illusions begin. It is about not building your entire life on them. No era is easy, no system is permanent, and no intelligence is superior to human nature. History does not rush. Those who suffer most are not always the ones who never believed the illusion, but those who believed it had finally disappeared. So the critical lesson we must draw from this chain of events is this: not fear, not pessimism, but clarity. Looking at events from a broader perspective and analyzing them clearly. Progress does not erase patterns, it merely covers them. The past is not behind us. It is beneath our feet, and it continues to shape the ground we stand on every single second. If this has given you a new perspective, keep expanding your horizons by subscribing. History repeats itself. I will show you clearly and distinctly how past centuries relate to the present. God be with you.